Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Update. I am Cynthia Bassi. We begin with the headlines. Deputy Inspector General Frank Mba orders set to retire as police prepared promotion. South Africa approves financing for country's largest solar power project. United Nations urges Nigeria to turn women's rights policies into action. And U.S. Embassy in Abuja suspends routine services over protests. And away from Africa, Indonesia to ban social media use for children under 16. Still away from Africa, Pentagon declares artificial intelligence firm ANTHROPIC. And in business, VITAFOAM shareholders approved 3.7 dividend and bonus shares. In sport, NSC kicks off third National Para Games. And now the news in full. A Deputy Inspector General of Police, Frank Mba, along with several other senior officers, is set to retire from the Nigerian police force following recent leadership changes within the force. The development comes after Olatunji Dishu was sworn in on Wednesday as the country's 23rd Indigenous Inspector General of Police. Police authorities say 7 Assistant Inspectors General of Police have been scheduled for promotion to the rank of Deputy Inspector General. The officers are expected to appear before the Police Service Commission on Friday for their promotion examinations. Sources at the force headquarters say many of the ongoing Deputy Inspectors General have already begun preparations to leave office. The planned promotions are expected to officially pave the way for the retirement of Mba and other senior officers as the new police leadership structure takes shape. Moving on, South Africa has secured financing for what is set to become the country's largest solar power project. Renewable energy developer Anthem announced on Thursday that it has reached financial close on the North Sea Solar photovoltaic project in the Free State province with a capacity of 4,075 megawatts. The solar plant, developed in partnership with Reatile Group, will supply electricity to commercial and industrial customers using a wheeling system that delivers privately generated power through the national grid. Long-term power purchase agreements have already been signed with Discovery Limited and the NOA Group for more than 20 years. The project will span more than 1,000 hectares and includes about 860,000 solar panels expected to generate roughly 1.5 million megawatt hours of electricity each year. Backed by a group of major banks and investors, the project highlights growing private investment in South Africa's renewable energy sector. In another news, the United Nations has urged the Nigerian government to move beyond policy commitments and take concrete actions to protect women's rights and tackle gender-based violence. The call was made yesterday in Abuja by Beatrice Enyong, the country representative of UN Women to Nigeria and ECOWAS ahead of the 2026 International Women's Day. Enyong warned that gender-based violence remains widespread in Nigeria, worsened by online abuse and limited access to justice for survivors. She also highlighted low female representation in politics, noting that women occupy only 3.9% of parliamentary seats in the country. She called on the government, civil society, traditional leaders and the private sector to accelerate reforms and investment that remove gender barriers. The United Nations says stronger enforcement of policies, improved funding and greater support for women's participation in leadership and economic development are key to achieving sustainable progress for women and girls. Still in Africa, the United States Embassy in Abuja has temporarily suspended routine services over concerns about possible protests in the Federal Capital Territory. In a notice issued on Thursday, the embassy said its Abuja office would remain closed for regular operations until Monday, the 9th of March this year, where affected applicants have been advised to check their mail messages or email messages or their AVITS accounts for updated appointment dates. The embassy says the decision was taken as a precautionary measure due to the potential for demonstrations in the city. Applicants who do not receive new appointment dates have been asked to contact the consular section through the Visa Navigator platform for further assistance. We'll go on a quick break now. The news continues when we return. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea TV News Update. Now, the rest of the news. Away from Africa, Indonesia will ban children under the age of 16 from using social media platforms. Communication and Digital Affairs Minister Mutia Hafid announced the decision today, saying the government has signed a new regulation restricting young users from creating accounts on platforms considered high risk. The ban will affect platforms including YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, Bigo Live, and Roblox. Authorities say the measure is aimed at protecting children from online threats such as pornography, cyberbullying, fraud, and digital addiction. Implementation of the rule will begin gradually from 28 as platforms are required to comply with the regulation. Indonesia says the move is part of a broader effort to protect children in what officials describe as a growing digital emergency. The country will become the first in Southeast Asia to introduce such restrictions, following similar actions in Australia, where millions of accounts belonging to children were removed after new social media rules took effect in December 2025. Still away from Africa, the United States Department of Defense has officially designated artificial intelligence company ANTHROPIC as a supply chain risk. The Pentagon announced the decision yesterday, saying the company's technology could pose a security concern within military systems. The designation, which is typically applied to firms linked to the foreign adversaries, means companies that hold United States military contracts may be restricted from working with ANTHROPIC. The move follows a dispute between the Pentagon and the company over limits ANTHROPIC placed on how its artificial intelligence system cloud can be used by the military. ANTHROPIC says it plans to challenge the decision in court and insists the action is legally unsound. Meanwhile, analysts say removing the company's technology from defense systems could be difficult, as the cloud chatbot has already been used in several military operations and intelligence systems. Now in business news, shareholders of VITAFOAM Nigeria PLC have approved a dividend payout of 3.75 billion naira and a bonus share issue during the company's 64th annual general meeting held yesterday in Lagos. The decision reflects growing investor confidence following the company's strong financial performance. Investors endorsed a dividend of 3 naira per ordinary share, while also approving the issuance of bonus shares on the basis of 1 new share for every 5 shares held by shareholders on the company's register as of 6/2026. The approvers follow a sharp rise in the company's earnings. VITAFOAM reported revenue of 111.3 billion naira for the 2025 financial year, with profit after tax increasing significantly to 14.5 billion naira. driven by improved production efficiency, stronger distribution, and tighter cost management. And finally, in sports, the National Sports Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to developing para sports in Nigeria as the third National Para Games prepare to begin later this month. The competition will bring together thousands of athletes from across the country, highlighting Brazilians' talent and national pride. Director General of the Commission, Bukola Olapade, said para athletes have consistently made Nigeria proud by winning medals at major international events, including the Paralympic Games and the Commonwealth Games. He added that the Commission will continue to provide equal support, funding, and development opportunities for para sport alongside other sporting disciplines. The third National Para Games are scheduled to hold from the 26th of March to the 3rd of April at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, National Stadium, with organizers saying the event will help identify and nurture the next generation of champions while strengthening grassroots sports development across Nigeria. And that is all we have for you on Idea TV News Updates. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. We brought to you news that Deputy Inspector General Frank Mba orders set to retire as police prepare promotion. You also saw that South Africa approves financing for country's largest solar power project. United Nations urges Nigeria to turn women's rights policies into action, and U.S. Embassy in Abuja suspends routine services over protests. Away from Africa, Indonesia to ban social media use for children under 16, and Pentagon declares artificial intelligence firm Anthropic. VITAFOAM shareholders approved 3.7 billion naira dividend and bonus shares. And lastly, in sport, NSC kicks off third National Para Games. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Cynthia Bassi. Thank you for your time.